this week with the Get Bit podcast. I am Show Guy Joe. We have
Tafari TV.
Will cannot join us today. He had a family emergency. We wish them all well. As always, we are a Blurred Nerd podcast. Words do fly. Turn down those subtitles if you're afraid of getting hit by them. By all means, please also understand a lot of what we show may or may not be suitable for young children. Your discretion is advised. Also, some content we will be talking about also not appropriate for young children. So, we have been warned. We have been doing. How you been doing?
I'm all right. Almost done with South of Midnight. Really good Walking Dead stream. A lot of nerdy news the last couple of days, so I can't complain too much. Also, Sinners is great. If anybody gets time to go see that, that is just a fantastic piece of cinema. If you would ever like to appreciate it, and I'm never a person who's like, you need to see it in the go see it in IMAX. Ryan Coogler is clearly a dork about aspect ratios, and it's very clear why in this movie. The transitions to scenes is very much a director's dreams, and he is living in it.
Yeah, apparently Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan have great on-screen chemistry.
Keep Shameik Moore in the house. I'm not joking. There are some things in there that boy does not need to see. He will not recover. Like, lock him in the house, take his phone, unplug his Wi-Fi, physical video games and Blu-rays only. I need Spider-Verse. How hard is
this man punching air?
If once you get to a certain scene in the movie, all I'm going to say is, oh, he's kind of busy right now, ain't he? Yeah, that's, if you know what I mean, you don't know now, you will know, and you'll realize why that boy should be blocked from the theater should he try to buy a ticket. At least, if he goes to see the movie, I need him to record all his Spider-Verse lines, like, today. Like, I cannot have you emotionally distressed because you saw some things in there you shouldn't have, and now you're upset. Also, did not expect Asian representation in this movie. Like, I knew they were in the Deep South, but I was very shocked to see them, like, accent and all, like, in this film. And I'm just like, I can't wait for, like, the historian side of the world to get a hold of this movie, because there's very much some blanks I need filled in.
I wonder if it's, like, Chinese and Malaysian people from the South.
I can't really tell. It's very much clearly immigrants, but that have been either here for either a generation or two and are very much adapted to where they're at, and are very much an integral part of the community, which is a good setup for the first half.
Well, maybe I'll go see it next weekend. This weekend is very, very busy tomorrow and the next day.
Oh yeah, you have is this the Blossom Festival or something else going on?
No, Blossom Festival was last week. So tomorrow, back to back, I got National Board Game Day.
Ooh.
And then immediately after that, Middle Tennessee Anime Convention.
Okay.
And then at 5 o'clock, I leave there to go to my friend Phil's house because it's WrestleMania Night 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a nap.
Yeah, naps are great.
Yeah. I'm probably not leaving my house until WrestleMania Night 2 starts. I'll just clean, I'll vacuum, I'll dust, and then I'll lay there, play Monster Hunter, and just wait until it becomes 5 o'clock and then leave.
That might be me tomorrow. I think it's going to be very much in the house, catch up on content type of day. Whoever at Amazon delayed everyone's Sonic 3 Steelbooks till Monday, I hope you stub a toe. Because I bought the Sonic copy and the Shadow copy. Walmart sent the Sonic copy early. Amazon just said we're delaying it till Monday. Not even a shipping notification. It's just there in your cart and your money is gone. Where it's gone or where it's sitting, nobody knows. Like, I've seen 2 people who got theirs and they're just like, I guess yours escaped before the culling happened.
Now you know what some Transformer fans are feeling like, because they're getting their stuff either delayed or their pre-orders flat out canceled and refunded.
I didn't know Hasbro even took pre-orders for this type of stuff. I thought they just dropped it and, like, get it while you can.
No, if you go through Amazon, you can pre-order. The big one right now is the Aerial Bots, the Autobot Combiner. So
Okay.
their main body piece, Silverbolt, is up for pre-order, and people are getting their pre-orders canceled left and right by Amazon. It's rough.
Okay.
So we got a buttload of stuff tonight. Did you get to watch your anime? Some of your other animes?
Checked out Vigilante. I'm still very much new to this whole side of the world of My Hero. I like what they've done with the animation. It's not just a carbon copy. I'm actually sitting through the newest episode of Fire Force right now. I am still trying to figure out what angle Captain One Eye is over here playing, because he's very much dabbled on both sides of this war, like since before the plot began, and I can't get a read on this guy.
Hmm. So, off of you guys' recommendation, I did take in the first episode of Vigilantes. This main character has very heavy Peter Parker vibes.
Okay, that's what it is. Like he sees it, but his powers are weird, and he's very awkward about them, and he's still learning how to use them. But there's always people yelling at him to do better, but he doesn't know if he can.
I'm like, you can write on anything, right? Or is it only ground level? Because I'm like, you can go up walls as long as your knee and two hands are touching it, right?
But I'm curious how you win big battles with that as your quirk.
You dodge gently to the left.
Like if you're in a group fight, maybe, but like, how do you do anything besides being like delegated to being like the cart titan, just like carrying supplies to the people that can actually?
I mean, being a support type is not a bad thing.
If you know how to play your role, Marvel Rivals will very much test your theory on that, or test your abilities.
I don't know. I'm watching a isekai comedy called "Leveling Up Your Healing Magic the Wrong Way," and yeah, being a support person isn't too bad so long as your healing instructor's pseudo masochist that just yeets you into a forest and say, "Live. I'll come back in 2 weeks."
Yeah, you die when I let you, or when I get killed and don't have enough energy to spare.
Yeah, pretty much. So there's that. My anime, still watching all three. I have not dropped any of them yet. To Be a Hero X is actually getting better. We find out the main character's arch nemesis used to be his best friend, and the corporation that's running it has turned him into the nemesis by giving him just literally the role and then just cutting him out of his friend's life.
Okay.
So really cool stuff there. Apocalypse Hotel is hilarious, and I love it. They have an alien come in, and when he tries to check out, they're like, "Well, you need to pay us." And the alien's like, "Yeah." So they literally take the alien to the bank that is like broken open and old and stuff, but the money's still there. It's like, take this and just hand it to me, and we're good.
Well, it sounds interesting enough, and
It's
easy
very
enough to jump
romantic
into.
and very cute because it's one of those slice of life ones with a very dark opening twist, but it turns out not so bad.
Okay.
Uh, and then, I'm just watching a little bit of everything. So still waiting for one of them to start back up. I guess it's on pause or something and whatnot. But all right, so we need to jump into trailers. We got not a lot, but some new stuff from Marvel dropped. Jordan Peele came out with a sports movie. Sports. We got a brief trailer from the Mario Kart Direct, which we will discuss. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is getting ever closer and will probably be a physical own for both Tafari and I.
Yeah.
And the newly announced Ghost in the Shell trailer dropped because we are getting a new anime, which is done by Studio Saru. Oh, God, my psoriasis is killing me.
I feel like I was too young to get into Ghost in the Shell. Like, even the intro used to throw me. And I'm just like, I feel like this isn't a bad show, but I'm not getting what's going on here. And I heard the movie did an even more horrible job of bringing in new fans.
No, people were too stuck on the fact it was Scarlett Johansson. And as a fan of Ghost in the Shell, the original series, I have Standalone Complex on DVD. That never bothered me because there are multiple times where you see her personal body shop because she can swap bodies with different things depending on the mission. I'm like, she could have easily had a American body. She was just like storing in the back left of her storage unit for these things. So that never bothered me. But the trailer we'll be looking at here in a little bit this is going to be based more on the manga. So the fun thing about that is this version of Makoto Kusanagi is also a bit of a dork and a goomba.
Okay.
So we are probably going to be getting that high tech, high crime thing, but we're also going to be getting goofiness on top of it, which I'm looking forward to. But we will dive right into our first trailer.
Yeah.
Which is the Thunderbolts trailer. We're going to have to, excuse me, transition not going to be as smooth this time, guys. Will's got this on lock. I've got it on repeat.
So I've seen the trailer. I'm not sure if the sound isn't coming through though. Or is the tab muted by chance?
What's up?
I was going to say, I think it's muted. I'm not sure if there's a thing you need to press or if the tab was muted.
I'm muted?
Well, the video itself I wasn't getting anything out of it.
Okay, I was trying to make sure the video doesn't double itself. Maybe I need to just try right again. See if that doesn't double.
No, it's good.
There is no higher calling. Your sister understood something about that.
I should have come back for you.
No. That's just a fairy tale. I was in high school when the Avengers came. Kind of strange, but it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
But you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look up there where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever. Or you can do something about it. I am a boy. Look what you unleashed. You tell her I'm nothing.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
You all have things that we regret.
But I have so many.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
We can't stop here alone. No one can. But we can find a way. Together.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
All right. So that's Thunderbolts.
So are we gonna get a Dark Avengers reveal, Alt Avengers? Like I feel like the asterisk is gonna it's gonna do like Falcon and Winter Soldier and have a title change at like the very end of the movie.
Maybe I still don't see that the actor. I don't think the title fits for it to be the Dark Avengers. Because like the Dark Avengers were like not people seek redemption. They were just like flat out murderers on a leash. A little bit different.
Very curious to see how, or if any of these next couple of movies cross over with what we're going on in TV land. Like, you know, if everybody just obeyed Fist curfew, be outside when Boyd was attacking.
Well, I mean, Fisk has a no mask vigilante, and to be fair, the Sentry doesn't wear a mask, so he gets around that.
I mean, he does have a mask, but I'm like, what time is Sentry attacking? Because if it's 8 o'clock, if everybody was in the house and they were supposed to be, he'd have no victims. And then
No, we saw the Void murking people in the office, so.
This is also true. I'm very curious. Like, I see Yelena walking into the Void. Are we gonna? And he's in Doomsday, so I'm curious if Void survives just to get bodied and made an example out of by Doom, just to set the power scaling. Or if Yelena's gonna walk into the Void and talk no jutsu him down.
Talking back to Bob.
Basically, and let Bob know, hey, it's your quirk, not his. It seems like it's going to be a decent flick. It seems like I'm not, because someone else brought this up on Blurred's. I'd like, we keep seeing the same scenes over and over, so there's a lot they're not showing us on purpose.
We still yet to like fully see Taskmaster in any of these.
That's I'm like, does she get removed, or how early did she get killed? Because her actor also was the only Thunderbolt not announced for Doomsday. Trying to think what else is going on. I'm curious who all Valentina could have under her belt, because I could easily see her having Jerry Hogarth under the legal defense, but I don't know what the rules are as far as those characters. I know Fisk isn't allowed on a movie screen for whatever reason. Daredevil they squeeze by.
So long as he's not in the Daredevil costume, it's Matt Murdock, I think he can get away with it. It's because Kingpin is a Spider-Man villain first before he was Daredevil's primary antagonist, and Sony technically owns all film rights, movie rights to Spider-Man villains. They do not own television rights.
Okay. Yeah, I very much would like to see some of the Netflix people start making their return. Like Jerry, as much as I hated her because of how well she was written as a villain and just horrible person, but good as a legal person. That very much seems like the person Valentina would have. But I'm also curious to see if anyone actually like sticks with Val as like a, not so much a hitman, but hero for hire after this. Who's actually doing the contract kills? Who is she offering them? Not severance, but amnesty? Is the power broker going to make any kind of comeback?
It's tough to say. The only time where it was like actively a time where the version of Thunderbolts were actively doing it to like alleviate prison sentences was Luke Cage's version of the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
But we're not getting that. We're kind of getting the new version of Thunderbolts, which is the version Bucky leads. And there is no Taskmaster on that team, but Sharon Carter, under her Destroyer persona, is part of that team.
Okay. I'm just, they've left us with enough mystery. I'm excited to have curiosity of where is this going versus kind of how we were in Phase 4 with the early multiverse stuff, where it's just like, these solo movies are cool, but how does all this intertangle? Like, I know James is very protective of the Guardians, but I was very much expecting a Kang cameo at some point with the High Evolutionary.
True.
Like, finding out that was, like, if you told me that was, like, one of his students from, like, centuries ago, I would not have been shocked. Like, I was expecting just a small little nugget.
Yeah. We'll see. We got 2 weeks. I'm very excited. I'm still looking for at least one glove for my Zemo cosplay.
Yeah, hey, to the people at Allied, I don't know if you guys are sending out invites yet for that, but I would love to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Same. I would love to be a part of it. I'm keeping my eye on my screener site that gives free screeners, but it looks like it's only doing it in limited cities this time. So you may be able to get in if it's not completely sold out.
Yeah, Texas seems to still be the place where people are like, we can clone California there, and luckily no one's figured out that you can't. So they keep trying, which works for me.
As long as it doesn't have the Virginia state flag in the movie.
Why is that a problem?
Texas has banned it in schools because they say it's improper.
Hold on. Wait a one God-loving minute.
Did you not know this new controversy?
No, Texas keeps doing all kinds of stupid stuff. Let me see. Virginia state flag. What is happening here? Is this somebody standing on a dead king? Like,
Yes, they find it improper.
so do they just take a Sharpie and just go through all the textbooks really fast? Or you know what? I don't ask. I don't live here. I live here, but I don't live here.
So we'll probably discuss this on what the frack on Wednesday. So be ready for that, people. Sorry to give you more work with. So we're going from the two extremes. We're looking at the Thunderbolts. We're looking at people down on the luck. Let's look at people who are high on their luck with the new full Fantastic Four trailer.
I'm excited for this one as well.
Yes.
I very much love that they are basically celebrities.
I also love that this is like a weird retro 1940 to 1960s.
60s is what I keep hearing.
Yeah. So let's get into that.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed. This card? Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. While we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four! Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking? Okay. That's fantastic.
You're late?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What?
Hmm.
You're gonna
Okay.
be the mom in the world. And you are going to be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are going to be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. Nothing is going to change.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
Are we safe? I don't know.
There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up. We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
We will protect you.
So I've heard people say that they think that's not really Galactus. They think that they're basically setting up Reed to become our next Tony as the smart man. And he is basically being haunted by nightmares the same way Tony was just before building Ultron. Because I know Galactus can shrink down and come down to what is clearly an evacuated New York. But I would not be shocked if that's also what's happening is he reached out to space, space reached back, and now he is just he's just haunted by his own decisions or his own smarts or cursed with knowledge like Tony and Thanos was.
So I do believe that's Galactus. For those unaware, Galactus is not stuck in human form. Galactus is perceived by whatever race he is based upon. They see it as a giant version of themselves to a degree. So, like, if he's on a planet where it's large sentient amoeba, he appears as like a giant sentient amoeba. On the Skrull planet, he's perceived like as a giant Skrull. On the Kree world, he's perceived as a giant blue Kree. So on the human world, he's perceived as what he is because that's what our perception of him is.
Interesting.
Because Galactus technically does not have a true one form aside from his pre-galactic state of Galen, the last man of the previous galaxy.
Okay.
So that is Galactus. A lot of people are already having problems with female Silver Surfer.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if her husband shows up and he's just out preparing another planet and Earth was a detour that they needed his wife to come handle.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset if they traded Frankie Ray and Silver Surfer's thing and let him be the let Norrin Radd be the fire elemental. But like a lot of people are having real problems with Shia Ball being Silver Surfer, not Norrin Radd.
And then this could still be a one-off universe. Like, I get it. They're calling it First Step, so we could potentially get another sequel, or at least I hope more Fantastic Four in other stuff. But it's still possible. This is just the Silver Surfer here. We could still get Norrin Radd in whatever Battle World scenario that gets set up in the next few movies. I don't think it's that big a deal. Also, I feel like they've been fantastic for enough for Johnny to know he should not leave the atmosphere. That very much seems like a very early mistake. Also, I mean, they've been fantastic for enough to give him fireproof regular clothes. I feel like he should know better than to try chasing anyone outside the Earth's atmosphere.
He probably wasn't aware of the power level that he was dealing with. I bet like this Fantastic Four has dealt with like the Mole Man or the Doll Map Puppet Master on a regular basis. They probably haven't had anything on this scale to deal with before.
Okay, and I do like that Ben is basically a public like figure amongst kids and not like just shitted on the way they do in every other Fantastic Four thing where he's a hero but he's made of rock, so let's all just stare and point at him. Like the fact that he's actually like the kids like wear masks of him and tell him to lift up cars, and I like that. I like that Ben is getting a break this film.
And it could also just be that he's back on Yancey Street, and those are the Yancey Street kids.
Either way, the fact that there is a group of people who show him appreciation and like love is a nice change of pace versus hey, we're gonna watch you save the world and then your girlfriend's gonna break up with you in front of everybody. Hey, he saved.
They got like their own version of Johnny Carson.
That too, like they've got like that one show that everybody watches at 6:00 at the dinner table. But they also have their own holiday and everyone. I'm curious to see what other 60s era heroes may or may not pop up. Like, I'm curious to maybe they don't have the Avengers, they just have Baxter Building and Associates. Like, I'm curious if we have a 60s era Spider-Man, Power Girl, Luke Cage. Probably not a Spider-Man, but I'm bombastic bagman reference would be nice.
Maybe. I'm trying to think what other heroes would have been there. Like
even a 60s era, just regular Stephen Strange, who's just a very skilled surgeon. Possibly a Howard Stark, depending on where the generations will be.
classic Namor, or maybe the original Android Human Torch.
You could give us all the old school, like, original comic depictions of everybody here if you wanted to. Who else could make an appearance? I'm curious if they are going to have a Doom. They got to have some kind of Doom appearance in here somewhere. Like, I could see Reed maybe reaching out to Victor once Galactus makes his appearance. And there he's like, hey, told you not to go touching these things, but you don't listen to me, do you?
Oh, no, I would script that even better. He just goes like, I need your help, and Doom just starts laughing maniacally and ends the communication.
And then shows up to save the day, but then the world is destroyed, and he's left behind to pick up the pieces. And you leave him with the ability of knowing how to travel. Not the actual tools to do it, he just knows that it can be done, which gives him infinite time to go out and do God knows what while the rest of the films happen. That
man and his time platform. But we'll discuss Doom stuff later in this podcast because we got a book we got to talk about. But right now, we're going to look at Jordan Peele's newest. What do we want to call this? Like, take on sports? What's his message this time around?
I don't know.
Our need for, our willingness to sacrifice everything for our goals?
Sacrifice for glory? Like, you know what you could do? You could have the girl from Get Out in the crowd, like, hitting on one of this guy's teammates because she was hitting up athletes before she met Daniel Kaluuya's character.
There we go.
That'd be a nice little cameo. But I think he, with the Wayans family involved, I think he was like, hey, we can make it funny, but also, yeah, what if the world of sports really was crazy and sacrificial, Illuminati-esque?
So not quite Mutant League football, but almost.
That game, is that the one that was on like the Sega, and you could like explode people and you tackle them too hard and like bombs go off?
Yes. It also had an animated series.
Did it really?
Yeah, there's like 39 or 40 episodes, and they did not censor a lot of stuff.
You know what? That works for me.
It had their leader, Bones Jackson.
I might have to go look that up.
I can find you a playlist on YouTube so you can watch this. Like, it's absurd.
Okay, I might have to go check that out because I remember playing that like with my cousins and my uncle, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to play regular sports. I like the game where, you know, people just blow up for no reason, and now I am missing half a backfield. But you know what? It's worth it.
Yeah. So here is him.
Do you want this? Do you want this? If you want to transcend the game, you have to dig deep. Your mind and your body have to be in sync. Talent is how hard you're willing to work. No days off. No sleep. We grind. I'm never good enough. I'm never good enough. That's how great people think.
Concussion.
So you're gonna have to ask yourself, what am I willing to sacrifice? It's the fucking game, man. This is everything. Do you want this? What are you willing to sacrifice? You fucking say it. Say it. Say it. And show me.
Yeah, that's going to be something you're going to have to report back because that's not a Joe movie.
Yeah, I will very much see how much crazy he gets put through, and I guarantee there's so many dudes who I played Division III football with who are like, "Yeah, I'd be willing to do all of that." And it's like, my man, it's over. You're down here in these minor leagues for a reason. You're here with the rest of us, where you belong. But I'm curious to see what his take is on the world of sports, especially concussion. If there is something in here about CTE, and the worse it is, the more cuckoo someone is, I'm not going to be shocked. If you would like to get a Antonio Brown doppelganger in there somewhere, it'd be more than welcome. He is the unofficial spokesperson for concussions at this point.
Yeah. His movies are always super trippy, and the trailers are even trippier than the whole movie itself. So
Yeah, and this time I don't think I heard any like remixed hip hop score, because what was it? He had 5 on it for Us. He had something else for Nope, and I'm blanking on what it was for Get Out. But I'm also curious on what the progress is in that game he teased with Kojima like 2 years ago. If you got an end credit scene, you want to give us a little update on that, that'd be much appreciated.
I mean, it's a debuted on a Keeley event, so maybe we'll learn more about it on Summer Games Fest here in a little bit.
How soon is that?
My birthday weekend, so first weekend of June.
Okay, so that's not too far out.
No. That's going to be such a... We're going to have to work on a weird schedule for that one, maybe. All right, so Mario Kart had a direct this week. We learned a whole bunch of stuff. New moves, new weapon, new items, new modes. We are not looking at a full 16-minute trailer.
Yeah, not for. I get it. It's Mario Kart, but for one game, absolutely not. Like I'm very much appreciative to you guys for how much you put into this. Cool. The penguin meme. Let's be further. No, you guys do know your fans. You just don't care how we feel about anything.
They did debunk that it is not more expensive if you get it physical. It's $80 flat, regardless if it's physical or digital.
Okay.
Which is fine. I do like that. Well, let's look at the trailer. We got the Japanese trailer that came out a little bit ago. Swap back over. Only 30 seconds.
Yeah, that works.
This is from 13 hours ago, so not too bad.
Yeah, it seems decent enough. Again, whenever you guys drop the upgraded version of the Switch 2 and the base now becomes affordable, or you give it a better battery life than it got right now, I will maybe dabble in it. But for right now, enjoy Japan. Y'all got it. We got tariffs and a possible recession over here. I will continue to enjoy my backlog and hopefully cheaper Switch games now that the new console is out.
Yeah. No, I mean, it looks fun. I like that the cow from Moo Moo Meadows is just named Cow.
Yeah, that was such a random one to bring in, but then again, like the first Smash fighter we got knew was Piranha Plant, so.
True. I do like that the unlocks are very easy, so like the different... Quiet, you. That the different... you just are able to pick up different skins by going through various fast food joints, drive-thrus, and you get like a little item that spawns a food that when you use it, it gives you a new costume, and then that costume is unlocked to pick from Jump Street.
Okay. It's yeah, I'm curious to see what they even decide to set as it'll be the Mario's movie skins. But I'm surprised. I'll be shocked to see what gets put as DLC and or season pass for this game.
I imagine Link will probably come back. I imagine they will probably expand the islands and maybe do like different zones, like maybe add a Donkey Kong zone or maybe a Rabbids zone. I just see them expanding the island outward more and more and more, or the kingdom more and more and more is what it's going to be like.
You know, the way they had Hyrule set up as that DLC map to where like it wasn't coins, it was rupees. I would very much like to see that base, but for like each character franchise that is represented. Like I would like a Donkey Kong stage where it's maybe instead of cubes, we're breaking barrels to get and it's bananas instead of coins.
Crystal bananas are. We'll even throw it back to the horrible French Donkey Kong thing. Maybe it could be crystal coconuts.
I mean, take some elements from Diddy Kong Racing. I mean, I know you guys like to pretend that game never happened.
It's not so much that they're pretending that game never happens; they can't reference it because that's technically a Microsoft game.
Really? Oh, is that from the Rare Replay? Rare Replay. Is that on the Rare Replay on Xbox?
I don't know. Because that's in such a weird gray area because it's like Diddy's there, but they're like, oh, hey, well, sorry you're having to do stuff from the ER.
Yeah, we get it, man. You got to be in dad and husband mode, and it is fully understood. Okay, in this bundle, we have, we do have, GoldenEye, Cameo, Perfect Dark Zero,
Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Banjo, Tooie, Kazooie, and another Banjo Kazooie game, but no. Yeah, I'm not seeing Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't make the cut. I guess it's legal enough for Nintendo to say, hey, you can't have it. But yeah, that's such a weird space that they can't use anything from that.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. And was it not on the Nintendo Virtual Console for the 64?
It was on the 64 because that's where I have Diddy Kong Racing from.
No, but I mean on the Virtual Console.
The Virtual Console. Let's see. Oh, like the Switch Online thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever been put on the online store. But I would very much like to see more character-themed stuff. Like fully immersed the way they did Hyrule from Mario Kart 8. Also, if you're gonna give us a free character, make it Link. I don't want to have to. Don't make people have to buy this character twice. I feel like that's just overkill. Like Zelda / Sheik, maybe, but like.
No. I mean, if it were up to me, I'd do like 3 racers a piece, like Link, Zelda, Ganon, and then expand the kingdom to have 3 tracks.
That, or if you can keep getting these other fighters from Smash, maybe bring them in because I think Cloud coming in on like the Final Fantasy VII motorcycle and having a race through like Sector 7 or something like that. I think would be Midgar. Nice. Yeah, like y'all have clearly built some kind of relationship with Square Enix at this point.
So you go like Midgar, Gold Casino, and Realm of the Ancients.
That too. I just hope that I'm curious to see what they do because I played a little bit of the closed test. That Sonic Crossworlds game actually isn't bad.
I'm waiting for it.
It's interesting. I think they gotta kind of tone down the animations and the weapon spam. That's the only thing that gets annoying.
I'm waiting so I can see if I can play as Ichiban. Ichiban or Kiryu.
Okay. But yeah, I'm curious to see what else comes from this Mario Kart. I'm curious to see how it plays, what the whole deal with the exploration is, and how that trickles out once it's done.
So moving on over, we got a fighting game show we're going to be looking at. This is the physical reminder to buy the physical release. If you do, you get a free comic book saying, "Here's what's going on with Capcom Fighting Collection 2." And people, look, it's Kyo Kusanagi, the one everybody was complaining about during the first Capcom Fighting Collection, and him being overshadowed because Terry was doing stuff. Look, he's there. He's real. He's a real boy.
You know, I'm just asking, if you're going to put a comic book on it, please don't place the price sticker over the sticker that says comic book inside. Because, like, I almost had, the dude at GameStop clearly thought I was about to, like, have a moment in the store. Or at Best Buy, I think it was. I was like, hey, that's what it was. It was a young lady at Best Buy. I was like, I'm supposed to get a comic with it. She's like, we didn't get any notice, but, like, is that a thing? I'm like, yeah, it says it's supposed to come with a book. And then I take the little pre-order sticker off because they slap that thing over, and if you ever get it from Best Buy, the pre-order label takes up the entire front of the case of whatever you're holding, and it's so annoying. And then it's like, oh, look, comic book inside. So I showed them, like, hey, if anybody comes here and complaining, they have to actually open the thing. So sorry about that. Yeah. So I think I still have my PS4 copy sealed. I just haven't had a reason to open it yet. Switch copy is like this big. But I'm hoping it's a little more. The Marvel vs. Capcom collection was cool, but I get it when they said arcade collection because it's not. A lot of the versus stuff you can really only do if someone else is playing. Otherwise, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you're picking a team, but you're fighting the same characters in a row each time, and that got kind of stale, kind of fast. And then it was kind of the same thing for each subsequent game. So they very much meant the word arcade and took the arcade version of each thing, versus kind of like the console variants that we were used to. And that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Also, on a side note, Capcom Fighting Arcade and Capcom Fighting Collection 1 are getting an update that is adding adding in some new modes, new versus systems in it. I believe X-Men vs. Street Fighter is getting the third version of the arcade added to it, where that Juggernaut bug is fixed and whatnot. So there actually is an update for that. Moving on down the thing with our final trailer tonight, and then we'll hop into news. We are looking at the new announcement trailer of Mamoru Oshii's Ghost in the Shell, which is getting a brand new anime probably this fall, I imagine, done by Studio Saru. So that means this thing's going to look absolutely gorgeous. So we will pop right over into that. Oh.
So is it like a remake of the original Ghost? Is it a sequel?
No, so what we're basically getting Because what Ghost in the Shell Salem Complex and was basically kind of like a retelling of the original movie, this is going to be a straight adaptation of the manga.
Okay.
Which we haven't really gotten, like, kind of we have, but like more often than not, when they do Ghost in the Shell, it's kind of adapting the movies.
So the first anime was based on movies that came out that were like loosely based on the manga?
Yes.
Interesting.
So this is going to be like a supposed straight adaptation of the manga, which I am really looking forward to.
So this is basically Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but Ghost in the Shell.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. In that case, I might give this one a shot.
I mean, it'll still be hard to understand with all the techno jargon, but it should be at least be better than the last time we got a Ghost in the Shell series.
We should be okay. I think, like you said, people give the movie a lot of flack because we had mainstream actors in it. But if
I'm talking about the horrible CGI anime that came out a couple of years ago.
There was a recent one?
Yes, where she was much younger because it was in like her cadet days. And it looked terrible.
Well, sounds like I dodged that bullet. Yeah, I think I'll give it a shot because, I feel like I was too young to follow what was even going on with Ghost in the Shell back then. Now that I'm older, I feel like that's a show that requires more attention than I can pay it. So if it's accessible when it comes out, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a chance.
It uses a lot of complicated words, and at times you're just asking yourself, "Where are the Digimon?"
That was some parts of Dr. Stone with me, and I'm just like, all right, this gear and that chemical and this chemical, and they actually do a good job making jokes, and it's just like, well, there he goes again. It's like, let us know when you come down from your science high, and you can break it down for these native villagers who don't speak your language.
All right, so now we're moving over onto our news portion. First off, we are looking at the Tekken patch emergency notes.
Why is it? I'm hearing people saying Tekken 8 is worse now.
Well, Tekken 8 Season 2 was really bad prior to this emergency patch, and Anna was unbelievably glitched.
Like invincibility frames, like
no, so like when she does her slap, she has the potential to glitch out and take the opponent's moveset, and likewise the opponent can take Anna's moveset.
So now you basically swap characters but keep the same model?
Yes.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So after significant things and being overwhelmingly review bombed on Steam, Namco did everything. So they promised a more defensive game in Season 2, and instead they became ultra aggressive. So, like, what the problem was, there were more safe moves, more 50-50 setups, more tracking moves that skewed the gameplay to pressing buttons that led to very long-winded combos. Not Final Fantasy summoning long, but they were getting there. So they went and pretty much just try to address it. They're increasing the overall health values of the entire cast so they can withstand the combos, but they're nerfing overly high reward moves. Yes, I am just reading this off the screen. They're tuning the heat system to reduce the amount of chip damage it causes. Paul and Jack 8 will be heavily addressed. Also, they'll be taking care of Anna's copy glitch. We have the full patch notes right here. We will not go into everything. We'll just hit up universal changes.
All right, I mean, as long as they're addressing it, seems a review nuke on Steam is the quickest way to get some corrections from the devs these days. Especially if the criticism is justified and not just you hate reviewing stuff because whatever you're angry about today.
So essentially they're going from people's health pools going from 180 to 200. Rage activation threshold is based on a 23.5%, so it'll change from trigger point of being like a 43% health to 47. Rage will now last longer. These changes don't apply in story mode, the epilogue, or Tekken Bowl. Throw, which was also a big issue. Breaking the throw would result in defenders successfully breaking the throw would have a damage penalty. The mechanic where the defender receives 5 recoverable damage upon successful throw break. Throw break has been removed, so they're essentially, if you broke the throw, if the defender broke it, they would just get chip damage. So that's bad. Heat engagers got reduced from frames. Heat dash is now scaled more properly. Chip damage is being scaled more properly. Key charge, which was the biggest issue, is everybody became a stance character essentially. So lots of stuff got changed and happened. So Tekken was having some issues.
I mean, as long as they are at least aware of the community, because I feel like right around this part of the fighting game, once the high wears off of it's out, it's like the upkeep is what makes or breaks it, and this is where every Mortal Kombat seems to die.
Kind of. I think what kind of killed Mortal Kombat 1 was the lackluster DLC expansion. Not so much the characters, but the story itself. Because Mortal Kombat now is known more for its expansive story and characters than it is the actual gameplay and the game loop. And that Chaos storyline was not great.
A lot of people say that they peaked with MKX, and sometimes I'm just like, that was the last one I remember watching like the full story through, so maybe they're right.
Oh yeah, no. That one was last time. Moving on over, we got some comic book news. We're just going to be bouncing back and forth because there's just a lot of really random stuff because Star Wars Celebration is happening right now, and also Marvel's letting loose a lot of stuff. So
yeah, congrats to all my mutuals who got to go to Japan free of charge on Disney's dime. I'm not envious of you at all.
Let it out. Marvel and Toho's International deliver a pop culture shattering showdown and the new Godzilla vs. Destroy the Universe comic event. Lately, we've been gearing up to that. We will look at the newest Godzilla vs. series in comics later in the show. But we have a wonderful picture right here of the universe taking on Godzilla. This is a Toho Godzilla, not the Legends version. So be aware of that. Please keep in mind this is not the first time Marvel has interacted with Godzilla. He was a regular character that Marvel Universe had access to way back in the early 70s and was Dum Dum Dugan's primary antagonist was Godzilla.
That is a name I have not heard since, I think, Ultimate Alliance.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very shocked. I feel like that character is very prevalent in the Marvel comics and is just yet to be addressed for no reason whatsoever.
They addressed him. We found out he was a real-life decoy model, and the original Dum Dum Dugan died a long time ago.
In the MCU?
No, not in the MCU.
Yeah, so MCU, I feel like Dum Dum Dugan is...
He's only around in the Captain America movie because he's a World War II era character.
Yeah, he's like an old name throughout the records, right?
Yes.
Is his title anything that gets passed down, or is he just that spoken of that often?
No, so like I said, he was kept around in the comics because of Nick Fury, and then we learned like the dude we've been with the whole time has been a real life decoy model because he just never aged.
Okay. Because yeah, I remember like if you do a lot of the extra missions in Ultimate Alliance, his name comes up like a lot. But it's always like in past tense or just like off-screen stuff. So I'm just like, I'm curious who this guy is, or wonder if like his name will ever come up in anything.
So we got an all-star cast of Marvel characters, villain packed with fighting Godzilla, ancient Celestials, a symbiote bonding with Godzilla at one point. These are the books that are currently out right now that are leading up to this. Battle between Hulk and Godzilla, which is what we're going to be looking at this week. He has always been battling. Like I said, he's been in the Marvel Universe frequently. Legends Universe gets DC, but old school Toho Godzilla, he's part of Marvel.
Okay.
So I am looking forward to this. I think this is going to be dropping around July 16th.
And then did DC wrap up their whole Godzilla crossover already?
Yes, and they're getting ready to do a sequel.
Okay.
Yep. Because remember, Kong is Green Lantern of his universe.
Okay.
I like how easily you just accept that.
I don't question it. I've seen, like, I grew up during the hype of waiting on season 2. I saw Attack on Avengers, and they're like, oh, it's going to be a Attack on Titan crossover, and it was like 4 whole pages. So this, I'm happy to see, like, okay, monsters versus superheroes. It can go to any universe, and it's actually a full book. It's not just like that teaser image you put in the middle of a magazine to sell some copies.
True. Like, Monster Island actually exists as a separate place in the Marvel Universe. It's near the Savage Lands.
Is that the place where Professor Magneto got kidnapped and all the dinosaur people were at?
Yes, that was the Savage Lands.
Okay. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, I know that reference.
So moving on over, because we are talking about Star Wars, tomorrow we'll be able to look at the new first-player turn-based tactics game coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. This is Star Wars Company Zero. Don't know what this is really about. I see a bounty hunter, a clone trooper, a smuggler, a Jedi, a droid, and I have no idea. A Genosian, a clone, I have no idea.
Yeah, is that a robot with a saber or a mechanical person?
No, I think he's like Kit Fisto's race. And maybe like a water inhaler.
I'm curious why we never see them anymore. I feel like there's no way the Empire gets jurisdiction over it. I feel like there's no way the Empire gets jurisdiction over a underwater planet.
Well, they allied themselves with the shark people of that planet.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay, I guess you could team up with somebody to get some kind of common ground.
So we will have the trailer for that in next week's show because it doesn't debut till tomorrow, so look forward to that. Moving on over to X-Men because we do have X-Men news. The Hellfire Gala is coming back this year in 2025, but this is going to be called Hellfire Gala Vigil because we're going to be honoring, the mutants are going to be honoring the fall of Krakoa, 1 year since the fall of Krakoa. Meanwhile, humanity just continues to suck as a normal humans just continue to suck as a race. So we will see what this entails.
Yeah, I'm very much not hearing great things because I guess the people up top were just like, we're done with Krakoa, throw it in the trash. And then there's a lot of people saying, oh, they're only going back to this because they see how much people are losing it for the Hellfire stuff in Marvel Rivals. So now it feels like a cash grab with a little, very much no love, and now you're trying to circle back on something you completely had no intention of ever revisiting. So calling it a vigil instead of a gala feels like, let's see if we can milk this a little bit more. At least that's the discourse I'm seeing online.
Yeah, I don't believe Tom Brevoort for a moment, who's Marvel executive editor, saying, we've been working towards the vigil for a year now. It's like, you have not. Like, we review these comics on a weekly basis. You do not touch on you very, very rarely touch on Krakoa. It is like all your writers, with probably the exception of Gail Simone, who's writing exceptional X-Men, even thinks about Krakoa. Like Emma's literally the only one that thinks about Krakoa and everything that the children could have had but don't get to have because of stuff. And Storm, I don't even know why Storm's big there. She was never on Krakoa barely anyway. She was always on Mars.
I heard that too. So they're very much just like, did you bring people in here who know what's going on, or did you just give them an assignment and told them get there however you need to?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she was there in the beginning, but the moment she started having rank on Mars, she never left Mars. Which is like, it's one of the very few times where Emma gets in her face and completely shuts Storm down because she's like, you haven't been here. You don't know what we've been going through. You never left your seat on Mars. Very rarely someone can take Storm down a peg.
Very rarely, especially. Does this cross over with her own comic at all, or is that a separate continuity?
Yes. Nope, this is going to be crossing over. The writing team is going to be Jed McKay, Gail Simone, Eva Ewing, Alex Packendale, Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanzig, Jeffrey Thorne, Jason Liu. There's Storm's writer right there. Muriel Adiole. So this is going to be like a big book, probably, or a lot of little anthology stories.
Okay, if Ayudele is on it, that's cool, because I would hate for him to get James Gunned by this situation where it's like, I'm actively working on something, and now you want to throw other stuff into the plot I had worked, and now I got to shift around that. But if that's not the case and he's at least involved, that gives him less problems to continue it. His Storm
I feel
series.
like he has to be involved since Storm is like the main person on the cover, on two covers, and then Emma, and then Rogue.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like I'm glad they're at least involving him versus throw Gamora off a cliff and then you go to James and the third one's like, and figure that out on your own.
True. No, I'm looking forward to this. More than likely, I will buy it. I will look for the Emma Frost cover. I am horribly biased. No one needs to be surprised by this. I am straight up with you guys every time Emma comes up in anything. I will always say point blank, I am biased.
That's fair.
Plus, this is just a really nice cover right here.
It is. If you are an Emma Frost fan, they very much had you covered with that one, especially because it's just her.
Yes. And unlike the Rivals version, she can't crush me with these things. Unless
Oh my God. People have been losing their minds over it. And you got people who are just like, oh, why does it have to be like that? And then you got the people who's like, I don't want to play any other female character if she's not like that. It's like, make your minds up. This is why the devs of new games are blocking you people ahead of time.
Like they know their audience.
Yeah.
So moving on over to DC. DC announces Batman the Immortal, teasing this is a reimagining, so this is an Elseworlds tale. This is going to be a miniseries. And Batman and all of his allies are going to have tokusatsu superhero costumes. This is being done by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom. If you do not know who they are, they were the writing team for the Boom Studio long-running Power Ranger series. And Dan Mora, who does just God's work on comic book art, is coming to do that as well. We are seeing various stuff, and there's Robin looking like a little Red Ranger.
I dig it.
The big old tokusatsu swooper stuff.
I need to see how cinematic the suit up routine is.
I bet it's a henshin sequence.
I'm curious if it's just like the signal goes up in the sky and then the suit flies to them, or if it's just a bat watch go.
So if you actually want to see something like that in like old school 70s, I did watch it. I did see Batman versus Yakuza Justice League.
How was that? Because I was
actually decent.
Okay, because it very much felt like it didn't need to be made up front. And I was like, I don't think enough people watched the first Batman Ninja for y'all to make a second.
Yeah, it's actually decent. I
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it. My favorite part is Alfred. All their vehicles combined into one big bat vehicle, and Alfred makes this 1960s giant robot television opening and just
Okay.
shows it to you, so you get to see the opening. So, see, Batman's got like the light cape, Robin's got the light cape, Nightwing's right here. We get to see the new Bat Jet. And I am a big fan of Kyle Higgins. He is just doing great stuff over in the Massive Verse with Rogue Sun and the Supermassive stuff. So I am actually very much looking forward to this. Maybe like the only Batman comic I buy.
Not even Ultimate Batman?
Oh, Absolute Batman? I'm not reading Absolute Batman. Not for the same reasons Will is. It's just I'm just not a big Batman fan. I'm a fan of like Nightwing and the other characters. I'm just not a big Batman fan. Just because he can get out of too much, the man might as well be magical.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious if we get an entire suit up sequence of the Bat Family, like Bat Family Go, and then we get at least 3 characters doing their transformation like an OG Power Ranger sequence. I am game for that.
I wonder if they get a Megazord.
It'll probably be something like out of what was the movie? It was one actually.
Pacific Rim.
No, Batman, Superman, Public Enemies. When the good version of the Kid Toyman made the
Superman Batman composite robot.
Yeah, the Super Bat Megazord.
I'm saying it right here. This thing turns into the head of something.
I can see that very much. It docks. The wings go up and it docks onto something else that comes up underground, or each member of the Bat Family has a vehicle that turns into a different part of the body. Alfred sends out the torso.
He's got enough Robins.
I'm curious, does Jason have a vehicle, or did that go to somebody else after the crowbar?
No, he's got his own vehicle. He's got his motorcycle. Okay, so moving on out, this also just got announced at Star Wars. Maul Shadow Lord. This is the next animated series.
Yeah, I don't know what this is going to be. If this is going to be like...
They did say what this is.
Okay.
So this takes place... this is the same dude that is doing the voice work for Maul from Clone Wars and Rebels. This is happening in that time span during the Solo movie, where Maul is a crime lord.
Okay, so this is
before some of Rebels. This is before Rebels. So this is like after Clone Wars and before Rebels.
I was gonna say, because after Clone, him and Ahsoka were basically on an even playing field and just had to get out of there. And I'm curious to see because they have free reign to kind of do with him what they want up until a certain point. So if we are going to get the same savageness that we have before, I'm down for it.
Yeah, he has the Crimson Sun, I think is his syndicate.
So does he have anyone left after he lost Mandalore, basically?
Yeah, he becomes a crime lord.
Okay.
And supposedly he also is going to be training a Twi'lek apprentice at some points, which people are hoping to God it's Darth Talon. Which, for the fanboys, that's great. You get your barely clothed Crimson Twi'lek girl. Good for you. Thumbs up.
Oh, right, her. Yeah,
her. Which I'm not bagging on the character. It's just like, I see obvious fan service when I see obvious fan service. Yeah. I'm fine with it. I'm chill with it. It's just one of those, like, you're doing this for the fan service.
Not to actually serve a purpose, which is perfectly
No,
fine.
she serves a purpose because, like, she's in the old school Legend comics where she's like the primary antagonist against the grandson of Luke Skywalker, Cade Skywalker, I think.
Okay.
Kira know which one I'm talking about.
Okay.
But no, so this is going to be in 2026. Currently in production now, so we do have this to look forward to. And then last bit of news, we got Switch 2 stuff. Maintains Nintendo Switch pricing. Retail orders have been pushed back to the 24th. This is Nintendo. This is coming from Nintendo itself. So these are not like rumors or anything. This is straight from the horse's mouth. This is all the current pricing we got. They did say that this console will maintain its prices. The games will maintain its price. The peripherals will go up in a small bit in price. So they are willing to bite the bullet on the tariff prices for the consoles. But we're going to have to pay a little more for our extra stuff.
Yeah, I feel like so far this is I don't think we've ever had this much bad news come out after the announce of a console. Like, it's just...
Sure we did. It was called the entirety of the Wii U.
I feel like the Wii U was such a... Like, by the way, this is also out console. Like, every time game stuff came out, it's like, all right, I guess we have to give Nintendo time to talk. Like, the Wii U was very much the redheaded stepchild, whereas this is the person who's supposed to be next up and is letting down all of his kinsmen.
Pretty much. The smart move is still to get the Mario Kart bundle because, like, for $50 extra, you get the free Mario Kart game. I mean, that's $30 off of the retail price, which, you know, that is actually kind of significant.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'm gonna need to see people actually play this because I think there's an expo going on right now. Or I saw the last couple of days people were doing like live play tests with it. But yeah. I would need to see how people play with this, set up with it, how the features work. How's that in-game chat feature working out for you? I'm very much gonna let the YouTubers say this one. Y'all got it. Let me know how it is. But yes, the bundle for that price is not a bad deal.
Yep. I mean, I'm looking forward to Donkey Kong Bonanza myself.
That one, very much, yes. I feel like we've been overdue for a 3D era Donkey Kong for the longest.
I'm sure we'll get a direct around June or probably at Summer Games Fest because that's only a month out from its release. So we should be seeing stuff like that soon.
Okay.
And then comics. Let's just jump right into the comics as soon as it boots up.
We'll give it a second.
On this computer, no, it's going to be more than a second. I don't lie to you guys when I tell you the last game I can run on high settings is StarCraft 2.
If you why don't you go with fashion sense? Putting on the Reds. Putting on the yeah, I'm trying to figure out what games. You know what I can do? I can finally play my copy of Sparking Zero. That's what I can do when I finish out the minute. Okay, absolutely.
We just confirm Ultra Vegeta 1, Pansy, Glorio, and Ku. I hope to God Ku's ultimate is the book attack.
I would be okay. If not an ultimate, I would be okay with that being his rush attack. Kind of like Goku's Meteor combo and stuff. If he does that and the final attack is just he hits you with a bunch of blasts and then swings a book for his final hit, I will be absolutely okay with that.
Or even better, he gives Do a cookie and he goes Super Saiyan Do and does the Kamehameha.
I'm okay with that as well.
Something with Do. I feel like he should be doing something with his brother. All right, first up we got, let me get that out of the way. Absolute Flesh. This is written by Jeff Lemire and Nick Roble. Art and cover by Nick Robles. Art colors by Andrea Lucas. We just get to meet the Absolute version of the Rogues, and we get to see what Barry's status is and what Grodd's status is in this book. But continues to be solid art, good story. I like the reinvention of the Rogues. I'm sure one of my friends is going to absolutely love the new version of Captain Boomerang. She's obsessed with Captain Boomerang.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so who is the robot face here at the bottom?
He's either this version of Toyman or he is
Grifter?
not the Jester. The version Mark Hamill is the Prankster.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, solid book. Moving on over, we got the Summer of Superman special. This is a 3-part mini anthology story. First part written by Mark Waid, second part by Dan Slott, and third part by Joshua Williamson, with art by Jorge Jimenez, and art finishes on chapter 3 by Belina Ortega, epilogue art by Dan Mora. So this is actually a really important book. You get to see, as you can see right here, Steele finally marries Lana Lang in this issue. We get some setup to the actual story of the overall DC universe happening in this book, as well as 3-time Superman fights Validus of the Future Foes, which is usually done by the Legion of fought by the Legion of Superheroes. So this is like Superman fighting Validus when he's Superboy, as seen right here with Crypto. When he fights Validus again pre-wedding and fights Validus during the wedding.
Okay, so this is just like 3 different stories in the day in the life of Superman?
Yes, but they all kind of connect, and it actually does play into the large role of the DC universe.
I'm kind of thinking that's what the movie is going to be like. It very much seems like we are not getting just one overlining thing. It feels like it's going to be just a day.
A week of Superman.
It feels like it's going to be just a day in the life of the DCU, and I think I am perfectly okay with that. Like,
no, I'm fine with it.
If you're writing these movies, if each movie is like an episode of Justice League Unlimited, where it's like, hey, we're focusing on this character, but we're not just going to ignore that everyone else is here, and you might be on a date and there's some eyeball monster and Guy Gardner in the background asking for help while you take your time putting your boots back on. But yeah, I always like these kind of stories. I think All-Star Superman had kind of like this kind of thing going on. So these are always good if they're written well.
The other big storyline on this one is his friendship with Lana Lang, because like we see that Clark gets to see his future self, and he's very, very. Kid Clark is very upset that he does not end up with Lana, because they were a big item when they were kids and teenagers.
Mm.
But I mean, Lana does marry John Henry Irons, so in this book, like Steele is married to a version of Superwoman, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Long time coming for John Henry too. I'm really happy about that. We get Sonic and DC crossover issue 2. This is written by Ian Flynn with art by Adam Bryce Thomas, colors by Matt Herms. Stuff happens. Really one big spoiler. Darkseid is going after the Omega Gems, and he summons all of his generals to go after all the other Chaos Emeralds. So, like, for example, Batman and Shadow's going up against Steppenwolf, for example, and Knuckles and Superman are going up against Calabac. Stuff happens, and a big thing happens on the final page. I do not want to spoil, but this book is fun. The artwork is good. Ian Flynn knows how to write both good Sonic characters and good DC characters. I'm not sure if he's the primary writer for Sonic or not, though.
I think they are in good hands. From what I've seen from this comic, it seems like they are not taking it seriously and just having fun with it, which is perfectly fine with me because that's what you get when you put Sonic into it, unless you are writing like Sonic and Sally Acorn Rebel Fighter type stuff. So having Darkseid and his Herald show up to take on Sonic and friends just so everybody gets some screen time, I perfectly okay with it with me.
Yeah, we haven't even done like Sally Acorns is like non-existent in the new book too, new series too. So
I'm hoping the next movie will give her or bring her back to.
I don't think she's as important as she used to be anymore.
She's not, but if we are going what I think is going to be the Freedom Fighter route, which they have very much saved Amy from the damsel in distress introduction, which I don't think was going to be a big issue, but it's fine. Especially because in the first game she was technically only 8 years old. But we don't need teenage Amy with a hammer saying, save me. So if you were to take me back to Mobius and you're telling me we have a female fighting force consisting of her, Rouge, and Sally, I would not be mad at, and potentially Blaze. But yeah, I liked this comic. I like the banter. I like the pairing of Flash and Sonic. How playful that is, while the demon that has ruined everyone's life at some point is basically just right here, just prancing around Mobius.
Even Dr. Eggman comes in and is like, we have a problem. It's like, no, duh. It's like, no, there's someone more evil than me here. Moving over to Wonder Woman number 20, we are now in a new arc called Murder on Olympus Part 1. Diana's mother is being accused of murdering Ares. So Diana goes to get Batman to go and solve this murder. This is written by Tom King. You know it's Tom King because there's 9 panels in a single page.
Is that like his signature thing?
That is his thing. Gilliam March is the artist. We get to see Batman interview various gods. Batman is struck by a bolt of Zeus, which apparently was stolen, and just like we're looking into that. We get to see Batman go to see Aphrodite, and Aphrodite just like immediately flirts with Bruce. Takes his mask off and just kisses him. Bruce just like stands there and takes it. Diana's like, we do not have time for this.
But yeah.
Good book. I am looking forward to this. A good murder mystery is always fun, and Diana and Batman are always like a lot of fun and stuff together because they used to try to make them a thing in the old Justice League animated series.
Yeah, and I'm just like, we kind of threw that away once we got to kind of Batman Beyond.
Well, we never really saw Wonder Woman in Batman Beyond.
I mean, we had old cranky Bruce alone, so it's. I mean, they made sure to reference him and Barbara and their little fling, which was.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. That's a Bruce Timm only thing.
That was. I'm like, of all the plot lines you could carry over into that next generation, that's the one you want to bring over.
Yeah.
You could have mentioned, hey, you had Wonder Woman. Ooh, did anybody like you? Like an older Diana coming to visit every now and then for this old stubborn guy? Like, nope, just.
This kind of proves that a lot of the artists and writers that are in DC right now are the kids of that Justice League book, because over in Green Lantern Corps, it's John and Shaira.
Yeah.
Together, and they have no history in the comic, but all of a sudden they're like big time flirting. So.
Yep. And then John goes to the future with baby mama drama.
I still like the things. The big joke on that was like, that wasn't the bad part. It was the egg she laid. What? He's joking, Dad.
And then he has to come back and it's like, well, me and her had a kid. It's like, but you're dating Vixen, so how's that working out for you there, buddy?
Yeah. All right, moving on over into Marvel, we got Exceptional X-Men. This is written by Eve L. Ewing. Colors by Nolan Woodard. Art by Carmen Carino. We were still picking up off where Mr. Sinister has been outed as the main villain for this arc, who currently has Axio and has made a clone of Axio to try to infiltrate Kitty Pryde's X-Men. That's all I'm saying because this is... Saying any more would spoil too much.
Okay. It's the most X-Men we're going to get lately because, hey, 97. Anyone remember that show?
We're also looking at this book because this is pretty much a new version of Generation X, which is one of my favorite teams.
Okay.
Yeah. Moving on over, we have very obvious Godzilla versus Hulk.
Oh, they went old school dummy
Yeah, this
soup.
was Showa era Godzilla.
They went soup meme of the tree getting stuffed in Kong and mouth Godzilla.
We got Victory Dance era Godzilla. This is written by Jerry Dugan, art by Giuseppe Camuncoli, and inker Danielle Orlandini, colors by Federico Blee. Monsters are real. They're using all the people knowing of gamma-radiated scientists to try to combat these monsters. Godzilla comes in. General Ross and Bruce Banner launch in 2 different variants of Mechagodzilla. Old school Showa Mechagodzilla to try to take on Godzilla. It doesn't work. And there is such a thing as Hulk Godzilla.
I feel like What If kind of gave us that, but even then, that whole episode was kind of that was something.
Godzilla absorbs a gamma bomb and hulks out for a little bit.
You know, that I can see happening, especially after these last 2 movies where he just, hey, if you throw a nuke at him, it automatically heals him back to full health.
We also learned that Godzilla respects the Hulk because Banner Thunderbolt Ross is going to shoot Banner in the head as Godzilla was leaving, and Godzilla turns around and death glares Ross.
Hey, good on. Hey, Zilla will shoot the fair ones and very much respect your gangster if you can stand up to him.
Yes. So this was a lot of fun. I dig the fact that it's old school Showa era Godzilla. A bunch of old school monsters appear. I'm not going to spoil which ones. It's just a fun book. And then rounding out the evening, we got Superior Avengers. Doom makes his own version of the Avengers by using his time and space platform to pick people out of different timelines where his role reigned and flourished, and makes him his own personal Avengers.
Oh, so none of these are good people. Got it.
So it's a female Killmonger, a version of Abomination, who's their Captain America, Olivia Octavius, female Dr. Octopus, a version of Onslaught, our version of Ghost, because we got to have her in a book because we got a movie we got to promote, a version of Malekith, and Christoph Von Doom, the son of Doom.
Okay.
So stuff happens. I'm not going to go into this version of the Avengers fights Annihilus. So Annihilus comes, tries to take over the Capitol, and these version of the Avengers, because like I said, only this is our version of Ghost, because the Marvel version of Ghost, the comic version of Ghost is male. So this is our version of Ghost. They are all taken from different timelines.
That's it, but it seems like they all almost have like knight or like soldier-esque armor, but in a modern or Doom-esque armor to an extent.
Yeah, what he really only says most of the time is "Hail Doom."
Okay.
But this is Emil Blanco, the Abomination. He's
Okay,
just
because I was gonna say because I see the poster, but I'm like, where is?
This is Abomination.
Okay.
Yes, Killmonger, Onslaught, Abomination. This terrifies me, by the way, is that they found a version of Onslaught.
What is he normal? Well, isn't Onslaught usually more like hulked out?
Yes, this is a version of Onslaught where it's using the weathered husk of Charles Xavier to exist.
Ugh.
So yeah, but it's like, you know who Onslaught is. He's like the angry psychic part of Charles with Magneto's abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just a terrifying image right there. But nope, that's all the comics we got. We will have more next week. We know we got some trailers we will already be looking at next week, but that has been the show. I don't know what I'm doing soon because I've got too much stuff going on again. I'll try to stream soon. I know I got to stream MechWarrior. I know I got to stream. I've been streaming my plays of Monster Hunter. Right now I am abusing that poor frog monster, Chattacabra, because they got a special mission out that if you fight him, he drops a lot of armor upgrade orbs right now for events. So that thing has me in it more than Kermit the Frog has Jim Henson's hand in him. It was funnier in my head when I said it. Other than that, I'm just trying to exist in the moment, guys. Like, a lot's happening. May's going to be very busy for me because it's API Heritage Month. So I'm going to be with the API crew a whole bunch. I'm already being part of the baseball night, the soccer night, an art festival at the Nashville Frist Art Museum. I'll be there in traditional kimono, my summer yukata, and just a whole lot of other Ghostbuster events. Con season's up and running. I don't think I'll be cosplaying too much, but I'll be at various conventions either as a Ghostbuster or just staying as myself. By all means, stop me, say hi. I don't bite. Unlike what Will says, I'm not as intimidating as I appear. Like I'm 5'5". I don't have claws. I have little wooden salad tongs that look like Wolverine claws, but I'm not that desperate. No, I have they're little salad tongs that look like you used to toss salad.
That's cool. You guys got the Heritage Month. If you can, I would tell you guys to go. I would love to hear you guys' input on Sinners and the representation in there, because I feel like that's a part of Southern history I know nothing about. There is also a sequence that really does a callback to the individual cultures of everyone who was in the scene, including the Asian counterparts. So I'd very much love to see how the community responds to their place in that film. Because they weren't just like throwaway characters either. They very much had a purpose. They very much were integral to the plot. They very much were a part of the initial community that is established, even to the point, I won't say to criminal activity, but just to like, yep, this is the type of shit that goes on here on a Tuesday afternoon, type of stuff. Yeah, so what else you got going on outside of all that?
No, that's it. That's all I got. And apparently they are Chinese people, so I will have to look into that.
Okay, so I believe so, because there's a moment where I believe they spoke Mandarin, but very much the culture, these Southern folk, they were just like, was that Chinese they were speaking or whatever, but I don't know if they were just assuming. It was a lot happening at the moment. I need to see that again. Yeah, for me, what do I? Oh yeah, the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie video has been posted. I also made a short about it because I forgot Disney used to throw like music videos at the beginning of some of their VHS tapes. BlurredCon's YouTube channel, I just put up an old interview with Walter Jones and our friends from Three Black Geeks, doing Power Ranger Morphin interview type stuff. Room Full of Blurs, we finally got to put up the documentary style stuff I shot for Janelle Monáe. Let me see what else I have going on in my own life. Sinners. I posted my own little quick review of that. Please feel free to go check it out. I also got to see The Amateur early. I also got to see an early screening of Ianu, which I think is on its 4th episode on Max right now. Getting ready to switch up the stream schedule after next week because Monday I think I have like 15 minutes left to South of Midnight, so I will try to stretch that to a full stream. Wednesday, I'll be finishing The Walking Dead. Very much fun on the last chapters. Thank you all for tuning in for that. That will be me officially completing the franchise, excluding Michonne, because why? I may go play some more throwbacks. I am not 100% yet. Having trouble deciding what to play next. Maybe I will stop neglecting Pokemon Snap and give the Switch version a try and actually go complete the game. That is about it for me. Blurred's Eye, clips Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Streams, I'm also crowdfunding money for DreamCon because we're doing press again this year. And traveling is not cheap, even if I am driving. So the vehicle is probably going to need a quick body spa day and just trying to get ahead of the curve on that. But other than that, just follow me on all the socials. I'm around doing everything and all the things.
Yep, and that's it for us tonight, guys. Will should be back next week. Hopefully everything's good with him and their family. We wish them all the best. And we will see you guys next week. I was trying to think of good to go out on, but
hey, happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter. Thank you. I keep forgetting it's Easter. Usually Easter's earlier in the month.
Yeah, it's at a weird time. We keep forgetting about it since COVID because we're just like, hey, we have a Friday and a Monday off for some people. And I'm like, right, there's a reason for that. So hope you all had a good Friday. I hope you got the day off. If not, I hope they paid you time and a half properly.
Yes. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Peace.